The morning light slips through the curtains. Margaret stirs slowly, her body waking before her mind. She feels that familiar pull in her lower back, a quiet reminder of years, well lived and muscles well used. Her feet touch the floor, cool and steady. She stretches gently, but the tightness holds on. Every bend feels heavier than before. Her hamstrings whisper their resistance, a slow ache of age. She sighs, thinking of the days when movement felt easy. Back then, she could reach her toes without a thought. Now, even tying her shoes takes patience. But she doesn't give up. She's learned that the body listens when treated kindly. And somewhere deep inside, hope still lingers. Hope that there's a way to move without pain. That maybe, just maybe, comfort isn't lost forever. She remembers a conversation from her fitness group. Something about a gentle movement, simple but powerful. Knee-to-toe bends, they called it. A name that sounded almost too easy. She smiles softly. Maybe it's time to try. A deep breath. A small step toward freedom. And the beginning of something new. Margaret lives in a quiet house at the end of a sunny street. The mornings there are peaceful, filled with birdsong and the smell of tea. But her body often wakes slower than her mind. Each morning begins the same way. She rolls her shoulders, testing the stiffness that waits beneath her skin. Her back feels heavy, a gentle but constant reminder of time passing. Her legs stretch but not far enough. The hamstrings pull, tight as if they've forgotten how to let go. She moves carefully, one step at a time, feeling each motion. The floor creaks softly under her slippers. She bends slightly to pick up a dropped towel. A small bend, yet her back protests with a dull ache. It isn't pain that breaks her spirit, it's the limit. She remembers the day when she could dance around the kitchen, when she reached high shelves without thinking. Now, even simple moments ask for patience. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself before standing straight again. She's learned that frustration only makes the stiffness worse. Her doctor once told her, movement is medicine. But Margaret wonders, what kind of movement helps when everything feels so tight? She's tried morning walks, but her legs grow tired too soon. She stretched before bed, but the comfort never lasts. She tells herself it's just age, that everyone slows down eventually. Yet inside, she misses the feeling of lightness, the way her body once moved like a song instead of a struggle. She looks at her reflection in the window, sunlight catching silver strands of her hair. She still sees the same woman, strong, curious, gentle. Just a little slower now. Her neighbor, Clara, often talks about the community fitness class. Clara's voice is always full of life when she says, "It's not about youth, it's about motion." Margaret smiles but hesitates. She's not sure she belongs in a class anymore. She doesn't want to feel out of place among younger, more flexible people. Still, something inside her stirs. Maybe she just needs to start small. Later that week, she decides to visit the class. The hall smells faintly of wooden floors and lavender oil. Soft music plays as a few people stretch gently. Everyone moves at their own pace. The instructor, a kind woman with calm eyes, welcomes her warmly. Margaret feels safe there, surrounded by others who understand. The movements are slow, rhythmic, and forgiving. Each breath seems to loosen something deep inside. For the first time in a long while, she moves without fear. No rush, no pressure, just breath and motion. The instructor talks about balance, posture, and patience. Margaret listens carefully, letting each word sink in. Her body feels stiff, but also alive. When the session ends, she feels lighter, calmer. It's not a miracle, not yet. But it's a beginning. As she walks home, the air feels softer on her skin. Her steps are slow but steady. That night, she sleeps more peacefully than she has in months. She dreams of stretching her arms to the sky, of bending down to tie her shoes with ease. And in that quiet dream, movement feels natural again. The next morning, Margaret wakes with a gentle curiosity. Her body still feels stiff, but her spirit feels lighter. She remembers the class and the way the music filled the room. Something about it lingers in her chest, quiet but hopeful. She pours her tea slowly, watching the steam rise like morning clouds. Clara's words echo in her mind. It's not about youth, it's about motion. Margaret smiles to herself, wondering what other movements she might learn. Later that week, she returns to the hall, heart open and willing. The same soft light filters through the tall windows. People chat warmly, their laughter blending with the music. She finds a place near the back, where she can move at her own pace. The instructor greets everyone and begins with gentle breathing. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, she says. The air feels calm, grounding, steady. Margaret's shoulders drop, releasing some of their tension. Then the instructor introduces something new. It's called the knee-to-toe bend, she says with a smile. A few people nod knowingly. Others look curious, just like Margaret. The instructor continues softly. It's a simple movement, but deeply powerful. Margaret watches carefully, eyes tracing the slow rhythm of the motion. Feet planted firmly on the ground. A gentle bend of the knees, hands gliding toward the toes. Not forcing, not reaching for perfection, just allowing the body to move. Each rise and fall feels like a wave, calm and patient. Margaret tries it. At first, her back tightens in protest. Her hamstrings feel like drawn strings, holding their breath. She doesn't push. She just breathes. Down a little, up slowly. Her breath and movement find a quiet rhythm together. It feels different, not strain, not pain, just a stretch that speaks softly. She repeats it again, this time with less hesitation. The instructor reminds them, movement is not about how far you go. It's about how kind you are to your body. Margaret feels those words settle deep inside her. She realizes she's spent years expecting too much from herself, wanting to move like she did at 40, not 68. But maybe that's not the goal anymore. Maybe it's about feeling alive in the body she has today. After a few repetitions, she straightens up and notices something. Her back feels a little lighter. Her knees feel steadier beneath her. Even her breathing feels easier. The room hums softly with shared calm. Everyone moves in quiet harmony, guided by the rhythm of their breath. Margaret closes her eyes for a moment. She can feel her body listening, adjusting, forgiving. When the exercise ends, she stands taller without realizing it. The instructor smiles at her and says, "That's the spirit." Margaret smiles back, heart warm and steady. For the first time in years, she feels connected to her breath, her body, her hope. On the way home, she hums softly to herself. The world feels slower, but in a beautiful way. And in her heart, she knows she's just begun to rediscover something precious. The next morning, the sun greets Margaret through soft golden light. She moves slower now, but with more intention than before. Her back still hums with a faint stiffness, but it no longer feels like defeat. She stands by the window, breathing in the cool air of dawn. The memory of the knee-to-toe bend lingers in her body. She can almost hear the instructor's calm voice guiding her again. Breathe in, bend gently, breathe out, rise slowly. It echoes like a soft rhythm in her mind, peaceful and steady. Margaret decides to try it again, right there in her living room. She sets her teacup down, clears a small space by the window. The world outside is quiet, leaves moving like whispers. She stands tall, feeling the weight of her body settle into her feet. The ground feels solid, like it's holding her. She takes a deep breath, slow and full. Her knees bend slightly, her spine folding like a gentle wave. Her fingertips drift toward her toes, but she doesn't reach too far. The goal is not to touch, only to feel. Her breath moves through her body, slow and warm. For a moment, her back feels like it's remembering something. Flexibility, freedom. Then she rises again, one vertebra at a time, steady and mindful. Her head comes up last, eyes soft, shoulders relaxed. She breathes again, deeper this time. And repeats. Down with the exhale, up with the inhale. The movement feels simple, but it reaches places she forgot existed. Each bend seems to smooth out the stiffness a little more. Her body feels like it's waking up, gently and gratefully. After a few rounds, she pauses, resting her hands on her thighs. Her heart beats calm and slow, matching the rhythm of her breath. There's a quiet joy in that stillness, a sense that her body is speaking to her again. She realizes something important. It's not just exercise. It's a conversation with herself. Every bend, every rise, is a word of kindness, a reminder that even small movement carries meaning. She continues a few more times, noticing the difference. Her back no longer feels heavy. Her legs don't fight the stretch as much. She feels taller, grounded, alive. A small smile forms on her lips, unplanned, honest. For the first time in years, movement feels natural again. Not something to dread, but something to look forward to. She finishes with a long breath and opens her eyes. The morning feels brighter. Her body feels like it belongs to her again. She walks to her chair, sits with quiet pride. The tea has cooled, but she doesn't mind. She's found warmth in a different way now. The kind that starts in the breath and spreads through the bones. Margaret whispers softly, "Thank you, body, I'm listening now." Outside, the day begins, but inside her, something new already has. Days begin to pass, and the movement becomes part of her rhythm. Each morning, Margaret practices the knee-to-toe bend by the window. The sunlight finds her shoulders, warm and golden on her skin. She moves slowly, her breath guiding each motion like a quiet song. At first, she counts her breaths to stay focused. Now she doesn't need to. Her body remembers. The stiffness that once defined her mornings starts to fade. It doesn't disappear all at once. It softens, like snow melting under spring light. Her back begins to trust her again. Her legs respond with less resistance, her balance steadier each day. The floor feels different beneath her feet now, not cold but alive. Every bend becomes a gentle reminder that her body can change, that it's never too late to feel strong again. One morning, as she bends forward, she feels something new. It's not pain, not strain, just space. Space in her back, space in her legs, space to breathe. She rises slowly, and a quiet joy blooms inside her chest. The air feels lighter, her heartbeat calm and steady. She whispers to herself, "This is working." Her reflection in the glass seems to nod in agreement. Her movements flow with more grace now, less hesitation. Even her posture changes. Her shoulders sit proud and open. When she walks through her garden, she notices she stands taller. Her steps carry more ease, more confidence. Clara sees her one afternoon and smiles wide. "Margaret, you look different," she says, "like you found your rhythm." Margaret laughs softly, surprised by the truth in those words. "I think I have," she replies, "and it feels good." She shows Clara the gentle bends, guiding her through each motion. Together they move, their laughter blending with the sound of rustling leaves. It's not exercise, it's connection, both to the body and to life. Over time, Margaret adds music to her mornings. Soft piano notes fill the room, matching the pace of her breath. Each bend feels like a small dance, a moment of gratitude. She begins to notice the little things again. How her back feels when she wakes. how her legs carry her without the old pull of tension. Even her sleep improves. Her body rests deeper, easier. One night she writes in her journal, her handwriting slow but steady. I thought aging meant losing motion, but maybe it means learning to move differently. Her words feel true, almost sacred. She closes the journal, her heart full and peaceful. As the days go by, the knee-to-toe bend becomes her quiet ritual. A morning promise between breath and body. A way to greet the day not with struggle, but with gratitude. Each bend reminds her that healing doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's just a soft whisper of movement, repeated with care. And every time she straightens up, she feels a little more alive. One afternoon, after her morning stretch, Margaret visits her doctor. The clinic smells faintly of eucalyptus and clean paper. She hasn't come for pain. This time, she's come to share something good. Dr. Allen greets her with his familiar calm smile. "So, Margaret," he says, "how have you been feeling lately?" She takes a deep breath, her eyes bright with quiet excitement. "Better," she says softly, "much better, actually." He leans forward with interest, pen resting on his notebook. "That's wonderful to hear. What changed?" She tells him about the movement class, the gentle stretches, the breathing. And most of all, the simple knee-to-toe bend. Dr. Allen nods slowly, recognizing the name. "Ah yes, that one," he says. "A humble but powerful exercise." Margaret smiles. It doesn't look like much, but it's made such a difference. He explains how the movement helps the body reconnect. The knee-to-toe bend stretches your hamstrings and lower back gently, he says. It improves blood flow, balance, and mobility without strain. He draws a small diagram to show how the muscles respond to motion. As we age, those areas tighten, he continues. They need kindness, not force. Margaret listens carefully, her hands folded in her lap. Kindness, that word stays with her. "So it's not about pushing harder?" she asks. Dr. Allen shakes his head. "No, it's about moving smarter, listening to your limits." She nods, understanding in a way she never had before. The body, she realizes, doesn't need to be conquered, it needs to be cared for. Dr. Allen adds, even 5 minutes a day can restore flexibility and balance. He pauses, then smiles warmly. "And it seems you've already proven that." Margaret laughs gently. "I suppose I have." He tells her about other patients who found comfort in the same movement. Some regained confidence after injuries. Others simply learned to trust their bodies again. The beauty, he says, lies in its simplicity. It's not about age, he reminds her. It's about consistency. Those words settle deep in her mind. She thanks him, feeling a quiet pride rising in her chest. As she leaves the clinic, the sun catches her hair in golden streaks. She walks with steady steps, her spine tall, her heart light. Each movement feels intentional, almost poetic. Later that evening, she sits by the window, journal open again. She writes down what Dr. Allen said, underlining one word, consistency. Then she adds her own note beneath it. Every gentle bend is a promise to myself. The sky outside darkens, painted in soft blues and silver clouds. She practices her bends once more before bed, the room quiet around her. Down and up, breath and motion, calm and steady. She feels connected not just to her body, but to the rhythm of life itself. And as she rests that night, she dreams not of stiffness or limits, but of movement. Soft, flowing, endless movement, like a gentle tide returning home. Weeks turn into months, and Margaret's mornings have changed completely. What was once stiffness and hesitation is now calm rhythm and breath. The knee-to-toe bend has become more than movement, it's meditation. She doesn't rush anymore. Her days begin with silence, sunlight, and slow motion. She no longer thinks about her back or her hamstrings. She just moves gently and freely. Each bend feels like a greeting to her body. Each rise feels like gratitude for another day. The aches that once ruled her mornings now visit less often. When they come, she welcomes them kindly without frustration. She knows they're just reminders to move with care. Her confidence grows quietly, like a flower unfolding in morning light. Clara joins her often now, their movements soft and synchronized. They laugh when they wobble, cheer when they find balance again. Sometimes, they practice outside under the shade of an old oak tree. The breeze carries the scent of grass and new beginnings. Birds sing overhead, marking time better than any clock. Margaret feels part of something larger, steady, alive. One morning, a few neighbors stop by to watch them. They ask what she's doing, how she seems so full of energy. She smiles and says, "Just bending my knees and breathing." They laugh, but curiosity shines in their eyes. She shows them the movement, slow and easy like a wave. Soon, the small group begins to move together, cautious at first. But soon the tension fades, replaced by laughter and calm. Margaret looks around and realizes how far she's come. She's not just healing her own body, she's helping others trust theirs again. The garden fills with quiet motion and soft voices of encouragement. For the first time in years, she feels completely at peace. Later, when the others leave, she sits alone under the tree. She closes her eyes and listens to her breath. It's steady, strong, and full of life. Her body no longer feels like an obstacle. It feels like home. She thinks about how small this practice is. Just bending, breathing, standing again. Yet it's changed everything. She whispers softly, "Thank you, body. Thank you for waiting for me." The wind moves gently through the leaves, answering in its own way. That night, she writes in her journal once more. "I've learned that healing is not about fighting. It's about listening." Her words flow easily, her hand no longer trembling with fatigue. She ends the entry with one last line. "I will keep moving gently always." When she closes the notebook, she feels an unfamiliar lightness inside. It's not just her muscles, it's her spirit. She stands, stretches once more, and looks at her reflection in the window. The woman staring back is older, wiser, stronger. Her back is straight, her gaze calm. The journey wasn't about reaching her toes, it was about finding balance. And in that quiet evening, with the moon rising above her home, Margaret smiles, knowing she has found her way back to herself. The morning sun rises softly over Margaret's home. The light falls through the curtains, gentle and gold. She stands by the window, steady and calm. Her breath flows easily, her body light with peace. The knee-to-toe bend has become her quiet ritual. A small promise she keeps each day without fail. It reminds her that strength can be tender, that healing can come from patience, not pressure. She moves slowly, bending, rising, breathing. Each motion a whisper of gratitude. Her back no longer feels like a burden. Her legs no longer hold the weight of years. She smiles, feeling the calm settle deep within her chest. Outside, the world stirs. Birds, wind, the hum of life. And she moves with it, part of the rhythm, not apart from it. In that still moment, she understands something true. That age is not the end of movement. It's the rediscovery of grace. She straightens, her heart full and steady. Her voice soft as a sigh, she says, "I am free." And for the first time in a long time, she truly means it.